Hello, Tom Dark Nation, and welcome back to another video on the channel. I'm your host, Sexy Pony. There's no current event that I want to talk about, really. There's no reacting. I'm not gonna look at some crazy kooky goober and be like, yo, whoa. That's tomorrow. But I think today I just want to kind of sit back and tell a story. Relax, grab a soda or a monster, some goldfish maybe. Shoot up real quick. I personally have some water and some really odd looking cookies I found in my cabinet. I don't know what kind they are or what's in them, but there's some kind of chocolate within them, and you know they're pretty good, so that's what I'm enjoying. Mysterious cabinet cookies. It's been a little while since I've done a story time video, but you guys seem to really like them a lot. And honestly, I have a fun time recording them because as time has gone on, I've talked to some friends that I've made since high school. What am I talking about? Since high school. It's been like a year. I'm already ready to be one of those people that's like, so way back in high school. But back to the point, back to the meme at hand. I've realized through telling people some of my stories that I actually have some fucked up tales to tell from high school. And this one isn't the most fucked, it's not the most evil, but it is pretty degenerate, and it is a terrible fucking story. Looking back, like holy shit. I don't think I can even look like I'm a good person observing the situation, even though I wasn't directly involved, because what a little saga. But without further ado, let's just get into it and set the stage for you guys, okay? So it was freshman year of high school, the very beginning of freshman year. Everyone is just getting ready to settle into the high school, coming up from the middle school. We were ready to be the big boys. I remember being kind of nervous about the fact that my mom put me in this super gay blue and white striped button-up shirt on my first day and like cargo shorts and gave me the gayest haircut of my life. Worse than any time I can remember, really, to be honest. I still like cringe thinking about it to this day. I still get like little body spasms when I think about it, like right now. Right when I got the cool emo hair back over the summer, my mom was like, I think it's time to trim it. I think it's time to fuck you over. It was the beginning of the school year, and naturally there were a few new people in town because that's what happens every year. You get some new students. People move over the summer. And one of them in particular was this girl. And her name was, I guess I can't say her actual name. I think that would be pretty unwise of me, so we'll call her Jezebela. Now, Jezebela was seemingly pretty normal at first, kind of a nice girl. I remember I had Spanish class with her that year, and she seemed okay. Nothing that would make her really stand out from the rest of the crowd at the time. Just kind of a very normal person. When you talk to her, it's like, it's whatever. She was a little hyper, but I mean, what 14-year-old doesn't seem like they're on meth, But by like a few weeks into school, Jezebela had already developed a bit of a reputation around the school for a particular character traits. I guess I can't dance around it. I can't mince my language here. She was a hoe, okay? She was a bit of a hoe. I mean, this girl really got around. Keep in mind, we were just 14 years old at the time, and already I'm hearing stories left and right about how she sucked this guy's dick, she slobbed this dude's knob, this other guy's ass got tongued by her, all kinds of debauchery going on at the young age of 14. I mean, she was ready, okay? She got to high school and she was like, I'm ready to fuck. And she certainly did, She certainly gave herself up to the cock gods in that way. And as many of you also probably know, if you went to high school in the past 6 years or so, or really if you're in high school now, the way people usually start talking about fucking before it happens is over Snapchat. People talk over the app, they discuss things that they want to do, they exchange pictures, a little Call Me Carson action going on perhaps here and there. And Jezebela was really fond of Snapchat. This is how she got around. She would go home and fucking send barrages of messages to men of all caliber. From my understanding, she was quite the pro with the Snapchat e-fuck game. And I guess that enticed various men to her, particularly upperclassmen. That was just the name of her game, that was what she enjoyed doing. That was how she got her rocks off. Literally. But after a while, word gets around about who this girl is. The way rumors travel in high school, people just talk, everybody talks. That one song was on the radio, Everybody Talks Too Much or whatever. I don't know the name of the song, but everybody truly does talk. And, within like a few weeks, everyone knew, okay, this is this girl. This is her defining personality trait. She's a hoe, this is what she does. But I guess word got around a little too much because, maybe someone talked to a parent or something, and eventually her parents actually found out about it, and, she had told me that she had some, like, talk with her dad or something about this, and he had, sat down with her and been like, hey, you shouldn't do that, this is bad for you, you're gonna be embarrassed in a long time. He was pretty mad at her, but she didn't stop, and eventually, I believe he walked in on her, taking pictures of herself and sending it to men. Boys, I don't know, guys at the high school, and he's fucking furious, he's like, holy shit, my daughter is a fucking cunt, she's a hoe, she's a slut, fuck this bitch, I hate her. She's a disgrace to the family, and so he takes her phone. She's not allowed to have the phone anymore. There would be no more sending peach emojis and asking for the grapefruit emoji in return, okay? These modern sexual hieroglyphs used by every high school student today, they would not be used anymore, okay? She was not being allowed access to any of it. So her phone gets taken away by her parents. No more phone. And she told, like, everyone at school about it when it happened. And that's why I know all of this. Like, she was fucking telling everybody. She was telling me in Spanish class. She was telling my friends in homeroom. Everyone was finding out about all the shit she was up to and why her parents took away her phone. And she seemed pretty proud of it. And hey, I mean, that's her personality. That's her lifestyle she wants to live. Belle Delphine it up, why not? I mean, personally, if I got my phone taken away by my parents, I'd feel gay as fuck in high school, and I would not want to tell anyone about that shit. But she did, and she also asked other people to use her phones to log into her own Snapchat account while she was at school, because obviously her parents aren't there, they don't know what's going on, they can't stop her, so she'd just be like, okay, what if I just log into someone else's phone and go on Snapchat there, and, she had to keep up her streaks. Streaks come first, then schoolwork. And this is where another individual comes into play, our next character in the story, okay? Joe. Joe is autistic, okay? Extremely autistic. Well, maybe not extremely, but he's pretty autistic. I don't know what the ranking would be. I think maybe he's high functioning. You can have a conversation with him. And it may sound like I'm shitting on him, but I'm really not. This is just an integral part of his character, okay? He was a big, tall kid. He was probably, I don't know, like when I was a freshman, I was short as fuck, but I remember him being like a foot taller than me. So, he was probably like 6'3" or something like that. He was also kind of a big guy, the floor shook a bit when he walked down the hallway. But Joe honestly was not a very agreeable guy, okay? He was kind of mean to people. I remember specifically there was like this one black kid in our grade that year, and he made monkey noises at him, like in the hallway. So you can imagine, didn't have the greatest reputation. People were not super fond of him, just kind of the way things went with that. I don't know if he completely knew the gravity of what he was doing, but regardless, he did shit that made people upset with him. But he wasn't a dick to everyone, okay? And this is an important thing. He was not a dick to everyone. In fact, there was one person he was really nice to, and he was a huge fan of. You could say he was an only fan of, perhaps. He would really simp for her, and that was Jezebela. He wanted her so goddamn much. Like, he was fucking trying to talk to her and lusting after her consistently every day. He was kind of nice to her. He was doing some nice things for her, like, performing some simping and offering to, like, hold her books and shit like that. He was nice to her. But I don't think he really, really liked her. I think that he just, he was a horny guy and he wanted some pussy, okay? He seemed to be quite the pussy chaser. He was lacking it, and for whatever reason, she had an abundant supply of it. I mean, it was, she was in the supermarket. She had so much pussy, it was falling out of her fucking cart. And yet, he could not get any of it. She just wouldn't let him hit for some reason. Very frustrating when she won't put out, isn't it, Joe? And this is where a third person comes into play, who kind of ties the knot on this story and puts every domino into action. The third character is named Chris, okay? For the sake of the story, his name is Chris. And Chris is someone I was actually friends with in high school. We got along pretty well. Not the best of pals, but we hung out from time to time, especially later in high school, and it was pretty fun, no regrets about that. But at this point, Chris did something absolutely diabolical. So one day, Jezebela was looking for someone's phone to use so that she could check her Snapchat, She wanted to keep up her streaks again, and the person she asked that day was Chris. So she goes on Chris's phone, and she logs into Snapchat, keeps up with all of her stuff and whatever. She's maintaining those streaks, and then class ends, and she puts the phone down and just walks away, out the fucking door, leaves to go home, right away. I don't even think she thanked him. And she's still logged into Snapchat on Chris's phone. She never logged out. All of her info is in there. If he wanted to get into her Snap, he wouldn't even need to know her password. So Chris at this point had two options. He picks up his phone and he looks at it and he's like, okay, two courses of action that I could take. Firstly, what he could do is just log out of her account and log into his, and that would be the end of it. No debauchery goes on, no memery, no no Chris foolery. Nothing of that sort would even go on. Or he could stay logged in and do some fucked up shit. And he absolutely did some fucked up shit. Probably the most fucked up thing he could have possibly done in the situation. It was pretty creative, pretty devilishly, nefariously creative. So he logs into Snapchat on her account and goes through the list of people she has added, looking through everyone, and he happens to see that she has Joe added on Snap. He sees that Joe is right there, and they even have a streak going, they've been keeping up, they've been in contact, sending cute selfies back and forth or whatever. So what does he do, okay? Well, that night after school, he contacts Joe over Snap as Jezebela, and he starts talking to Joe, and he goes, hey Joe, it's me, Jezebela, your crush, the girl you want to fuck the shit out of. That's me, the real deal, the real Jezebela. And somehow, one way or another, they start having a conversation, things get a little sexual, and somehow he manages to talk Joe into sending him some pretty fucked pictures, okay? Like pretty fucked pictures. I'm trying to figure out a way to describe this through like an innuendo or not having to actually say it, but I think I'm just gonna have to come out and say what the pictures were of. I don't know all of them, but I remember unfortunately being sent one at the time where he had the phone, Joe that is, had the phone under his asshole and was like spreading his ass for the camera while also looking down at it. And he had sent this picture to what he thought was this girl he wanted to fuck the shit out of. Presumably, Chris on the other end the whole time was like, yo, yeah, send this shit to me, send that shit to me, yeah, and I need you to pose like this, I need you to pose like this. So yeah, I mean, it was totally fucked, I don't know what else to say. Like, easily one of the most disgusting things I've had to witness or hear about to this day. And keep in mind, everyone involved in the situation was like 14 years old. For 14-year-olds, this was some next level cancer, some next level degeneracy. Like tricking an autistic kid who's already, impressionable and vulnerable, I'd assume in some way, you're kind of taking advantage of someone there. He's not completely aware of how social interaction works. And you trick him into spreading his asshole for who he thinks is a girl is, it's kind of fucked up, honestly. It's kind of fucked up. It's pretty nasty shit. And I think that Chris probably regretted it after the fact. He probably felt bad, especially now. I think if he looks back on it, I haven't really talked to him about it, but if I had to guess, he likely regrets how it went. But I believe at the time he actually uploaded some of these pictures to his school Google Drive because there were more of them. That's just the one I described was the only one I remember, but I think he uploaded them to his school, like, official high school Google Drive. I'm surprised no one found out about that at the time, like, no teachers or anything. I don't even think any disciplinary action was taken or anything like that. Totally a fucked story where an autistic kid ended up having pictures of his hairy asshole sent to like 100 kids in my grade via Snapchat because he thought he was talking to a girl he wanted to smash. And of course, Jezebela found out and was mortified that Joe thought she liked him and wanted to, get as far away from the situation as possible. There's probably a few morals to this story that can be taken away. Certainly some that I took away from that experience when I was just 14. So there were some lessons to be learned there. If you're on Snapchat and you're doing shit like Jezebela in high school where you're sending pictures of yourself like that to people, and I know what happens, okay? Maybe not among my audience because they're based Sigma incels. But, in high school, that's something that happens, people do that kind of shit. Grime levels have been up to the max since Snapchat became the norm. I guess before that, Kick as well. But, don't fucking log into other people's phones with the account that you fucking send naked pictures of yourself to people with. Why? Why would you do that? Like, you're literally fucking yourself. You're doing the dumbest thing possible. Hopefully she learned her lesson there. I assume she did to some extent. Actually, I don't think she did. I think she got into some similar situations in high school because her dad, kept taking her fucking phone away, and she kept logging into Snapchat on other people's phones. So, yeah, she didn't learn her lesson, but maybe you guys can. Maybe you can, okay? No more lapses in judgment, okay? No more severe or continuous lapses in judgment. And if you like a girl, okay, look, some base Sigma advice here. If you like a girl, if you're autistic or not, Bo Black's looking at you, big guy. Don't fucking send her shit on Snapchat if you can avoid it. Especially if it's just like some casual hookup. If you barely know this person, and they're expressing interest in you, then try to meet them in person, and, if something happens there, then it is what it is. But don't leave some permanent record of it on your fucking phone. And especially, do not get goaded, do not get tricked, do not get saccharined by some girl into sending a picture of your fucking asshole. Believe it or not, there is no girl who will want to actually see your asshole. That won't happen. Okay, it might happen if you're meeting them in a Discord server, but in general, no girl you meet at school is gonna want to see your fucking asshole. Oh, and also, I guess don't take advantage of autistic kids, but that probably goes without saying. I don't know. I thought it was really funny. Now looking back on it, it's totally fucked. Totally terrible. But also just a little bit funny. Hopefully it serves as a cautionary tale for all of the freaks and just freaks at home, really. Anyway, that's the end of my story. Hope you guys liked it. I like making these storytime videos. I have a lot of fun kind of just talking about some bullshit that happened in high school, or I guess some of the stories will get a little more recent. Although I do have quite a few in the tank, okay? I've brainstormed story ideas. I've got them listed, okay? And every few days I think of another one that I'm like, ooh, this would be a good story. So I basically have a pretty extensive list of tales I could tell to you guys. And if you like it, then be sure to leave a comment below. I got a lot of supportive comments on the last one telling me, hey, you know, we liked hearing your little gay ass story. Okay, we liked hearing your story about some fucked up shit happening. So if that's what you're interested in, then leave a comment below, and I will take those in stride. Okay. If you didn't like it, smash that dislike button and bully me. So yeah, that's really all for today. I'll see you guys later. Bye.